Hello and welcome. So I was just packing up some of my best-selling earrings to take up to a shop that I stock in Melbourne. And I was thinking about what I've learned over the last couple of years about really leaning into my bestsellers and promoting them as often as I can. So I thought today I'm going to dedicate this vlog to bestsellers. So I'll give you a behind the scenes look at how I make my best-selling pairs of earrings. I'll chat a bit about how they came about and who buys them. And I thought I would talk a little bit about what I've learned about bestsellers, and hopefully the info that I have will help you as much as it helped me. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Leanne and I'm a metalsmith with a business called Leanne Allison Designs, where I design and create sustainable jewellery for eco-conscious people. So let's talk bestsellers. Okay, my best-selling earrings came about because I wanted to create something for my collection that was versatile, so would go with almost any outfit in your wardrobe. Something that was simple and classic, so could be worn day or night. Something that would make a great gift and would be easily giftable. I wanted them to be the kind of earrings that they had longevity. So I wanted to incorporate that sustainability that is a really important part of my life and my business. And I wanted them to be lightweight and easy to wear so people could just wear them all day. Another big factor was that I also wanted them to be reproducible, because I learned quite early on in my business that reproducible items make things much easier for you. And it didn't mean that I would then cut out any one-of-a-kind sort of things, but with a reproducible piece, you take one set of photos. So you can make up your prototype, take that set of photos, and then you don't have to do much more work around it. You can write one description and you're not having to keep editing things and changing things. So it was important for me to find this sort of magical earring that was going to just work for all those different types of situations, and something that I could easily reproduce. So I came up with my medium hammered circles. So basically these are a circle with a horizontal hammered texture, and the circle is then domed and it hangs from an almond shaped ear wire. Very simple, very classic. So the medium circles were the first ones to come out, but now I make them in small, medium, large, and extra large. And they come in recycled sterling silver, which you've just seen, but they also come in yellow gold filled and rose gold filled. Another thing was that I really wanted to have that almond shaped ear wire. I hope you can see that there, because I'd started making the almond shape and I really liked it. Some people call it a marquee shape, but I loved the style and it eventually became my signature ear wire. Another thing about being reproducible is that I wanted all of the ear wires, regardless of what size circle you had, to be exactly the same length. So you can see there, they're exactly the same length, because that meant I could just pump out a ton of ear wires and it didn't matter what size circle somebody bought, it was the same ear wire. The medium circles, yes, they did come out before all of the rest, but the beauty of them was that they were so well received that they have been my best-selling piece of jewellery of all time. They have sold more than anything else in my collection, which is incredible. Another thing that I really wanted from those earrings was that the design could adapt and be used in other ways. So I then was able to come up with a set of rings that were the same size circles and they would match the earrings. So if you're excited to see how I make my earrings, here's a little bit of a behind the scenes look. So I really streamlined the process of making those particular earrings, and it's quite simple. There are very specific steps. So I actually buy silver sheet so that I can cut the silver circles out of sheet, and then the pieces are annealed so that they're softer, they're hammered with the texture, they're drilled, and then domed. The texture came about because I found a riveting hammer at one of my suppliers, Kudak in Melbourne. And it's a hammer that is used to make rivets. It's not just an absolutely riveting hammer. And it just had a great face on it, and it made the perfect texture. So that hammer has been elevated. It is the texture hammer, and that is its whole and sole purpose. And then the ear wires, as I said, they're all the same size, which makes it really easy for me to just make up a batch of ear wires and then just assemble the pieces and throw them all in the polisher. It also means that I can break up the tasks, and if I need help, as I said earlier, I can get somebody to just drill or just make ear wires or whatever it may be. With the gold-filled versions, I actually buy the circles pre-cut, because even though I can get silver sheet, even though I can get gold-filled sheet, I need to get it from the States. I can't find it here in Australia. So with the smaller amount that I'm making of those, it's much easier to buy for the moment to buy pre-cut circles. Some of them are pre-drilled, others I have to drill myself, but I still have to do all the other work. I have to texture them, dome them, and make the ear wires and assemble them. What I've learned over the last couple of years is that your best sellers really are tried and tested, and people already love them. Now, I learned all of this from Jacqueline Snyder, who has a business called The Product Boss. Now, this video is not sponsored by The Product Boss, but I am a big fan. I have done a lot of Jacqueline's masterclasses, and I am part of her multi-stream machine course. So that's where I learned all of this. So as I said, your best sellers, people love them already, and they're often your bread and butter. So they're the pieces that keep your business ticking over, and people just come back for them. In my situation, I don't necessarily have people come back for the same pair of earrings for themselves, but they will often come back for those earrings to gift to somebody else. Now, I learned very early on, and I've made this mistake lots of times. I've learned it, and I still made that mistake. Making all the things for all the people will just confuse your customers. They will just not know what you're selling. It will just be overwhelming and too much. And a confused mind doesn't buy. Another issue is that it can leave you with a ton of stock that just isn't selling. So you've got all this stock sitting there and it's just not moving. Another thing is that it can erode your originality. And the thing that differentiates you and your products from others out there, that just isn't there anymore. There's too much choice. There's too much going on. So if you really lean into those bestsellers and really promote them, then you are kind of standing out. Like, this is my thing. This is what I sell. And people love to be told, it's funny to say this way, they love to be told what to buy. They like to have the overwhelm taken out of it. They like to just be shown something and be told that other people love it, and then they're quite likely to buy it. Now, if you look at Pareto's principle, which is the 80-20 rule, it says that 80% of your revenue comes from 20% of your efforts or your products. And I have to tell you, without a doubt, 80% of my revenue comes from my hammered circle earrings and my hammered circle rings. 80% of my income comes from those. So I've just found, and obviously Jacqueline says this as well, that it's really not worth your energy to focus on trying to push those poor sellers. Now, I know that there are pieces out there that maybe they've only just been launched, so they haven't had chance to sell. But then there are other pieces, and I know this, I've had this happen to me. There are pieces that just won't sell. Now, sometimes the margins just aren't there. Sometimes the customers just aren't there. I've actually got a video where I talk about letting go of some of my products, and I'll link it here for you. But another thing is that these earrings that I'm wearing now, these are my absolute favorite earrings. I wear them a lot of the time. I love the style, the shape, the length. I love everything about them. And you know what? I've never sold a single pair, not one. These are the only pair that were ever made because nobody else bought them. Nobody wanted them. Actually, tell a lie, I did make another pair and I took them to market and still nobody bought them. So I pulled them apart and made them into something else, which is fine. But no sales, never, none. So if I'd made a ton of these and then tried to push them and nobody wanted them, I would end up in that situation where I've got a bunch of stock that just won't sell. So it's not worth me putting a ton of effort in trying to sell these when I know that these will sell hand over fist. I'm not saying to not create anything new and to just work with those bestsellers, but if you want to, that's fine. You can just promote those bestsellers over and over. Have a look at your stats and see if you've got a bestseller. My bestsellers now, I promote them whenever I can. I always make sure that any shop that I've got stock in, they're stocked there. I take them to markets and I put them in a really prominent position so that people can see them. And I let them know that they're my best-selling pieces whenever they look at them and pick them up. I have them in a prominent spot on my website, so it's obvious, and they're labeled as bestsellers. On Pinterest, I've got them in on a board that is labeled bestsellers. I've also got them as the first line or two in my Etsy store, so they're the very first things that you see. And there's also a category on Etsy in my Etsy store that is just for bestsellers. So it's about getting them in front of people and really promoting the thing that I know works and sells well. So who buys my bestsellers? So basically my main customer base is women between the ages of 40 and 60. People who like sustainable jewellery, who want something that has longevity and, can be worn on a very regular basis. They love precious metals and that they are drawn to the fact that it's a recycled silver. But there are also people that want something that is simple and classic. I then have another set of buyers who are younger women and they're usually brides. So they buy them for either for themselves or for their bridesmaids, maybe their mother-in-law, whoever it may be. The women between 40 and 60, some of them have bought the whole collection. They love all the earrings, so they start with the small and they build up. Others may love the extra large for themselves, but they will buy the small ones as gifts for other people. I sell a lot at Christmas time to people who want to give it as a gift for a co-worker. There are a lot of people who they love the rings, so they've come back because they wanted a matching ring to go with their earrings. And I market them quite differently to different people because they have different reasons for buying them, obviously. Now, when I'm promoting them to the women between 40 and 60, it's all about sort of treat yourself to something that will last a lifetime, or this makes a great gift for the other women in your lives and things like that. When I'm promoting them to brides, what I did was I created a listing on Etsy, especially, where I could offer a discount when they bought more pairs. So they get their first pair at the normal price and then they get a 5% discount on each additional pair that they buy. So I'm really kind of promoting that as a, buy for all of your bridesmaids. And it works. It seems to be really working well. I hope you got something out of this video. I'll pop a link in the description for the product boss and Jacqueline Snyder so that you can find out a little bit more about her. And I'll also pop a link down there for my Hammered Circle range, so you can go and find out what all the fuss is about. Thank you for joining me. I have had a ball talking all about bestsellers and especially about my pieces, because I'm really quite proud of them. So again, thank you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.